just like to introduce you a little bit to pine. Normally it's done with a very dry brush coming up here along the trunk, and you can leave some blanks for the boughs of the pine, which in the Japanese tradition are more sculpted. And so you want a fairly dry brush opened up and giving you a lot of texture. When you're done, you're going to make the pine boughs, and these are done by forming your brush into a nice point that's rather flat in terms of its dimensions, and dipping just the tip, just as you would if you're doing water or clouds, and coming down, making sure that there's a little bit of a peak to each one of these boughs as you do them. So I'll go through that process just to give you an idea. You can start either from the trunk or the boughs as you like. So I'll start here just from the boughs, pulling down a little bit. Again, here's another little one over here, pulling down. And it's important that you go not just in one direction, but coming down straight and then also coming in a bit of an angle. That adds a little bit of depth. And going over top as well of what you've already done will also create a little bit of interest. All of your boughs don't have to be the same size. You can have some that are a little bit smaller, like I've got here. So here we've got just a simple little pine tree, and I'm just dipping just the tip in the black here. The brush is fairly dry, and I'm going to come along and kind of create a little bit of a trunk. And I imagine, how they might connect like this. Once you're done with creating that basic trunk, you can either rinse your brush or put in a little bit of a lighter color. And here my brush is quite wet. I'm just going to block in a little bit more of the color so you just get a sense of where the trunk might go. And this might just be the beginnings of what we might do. Here I'm going to just dampen these in a little bit to help give a little bit more of that ornamental shape to the bamboos. These almost look like little mushrooms right now, but you can add more details in later. Usually in the trunk of the pine tree, there's an octagonal shape detailing that you'll put in, and it looks a little bit like this kind of shape, and you can imagine the bark of the red pine. This is just giving you a sense of what it might look like. And so usually it's easier to do this once the trunk has dried later on, but you can do this as a starting point and then come along and fill your trunk in like this if you want, blocking it on either side. So you can do it either afterwards, like I said, or you can do it initially creating that pattern, so it gives you a little bit of the sense of the bark.